Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we give peace and salutations unto the elect, news and prophecy, linking the things happening worldwide to the Holy Scriptures, so that the faithful elect, the remnant of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, can be well equipped. As the Scriptures tells us, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. All right, and going to need stability, all right, via being rooted in the Holy Spirit, you know, not being ignorant of Satan's devices, all right, knowing and understanding that immortal life or immortality comes from the Most High God, Yahweh, as these devils, all right, are getting ready to unleash more and more enchantments. And at the forefront of it, with all of the sickness that they've caused through their chemicals and demonic environment they set up on the planet Earth, they're going to promise you, you know, health, and even tell you that you can live longer via merging yourself with machine, via their miracles. And ultimately, we know the MOTB. And I was checking out this video as I was preparing these articles that I'm going to go into today. Path to the MOTB, artificial immortality. All right, and this is the Elder Ariala and the Elder Rachaya Huam from London on Remnant Save 144 and Ba. Check that out. All right, another video that I saw, and I checked out a little bit of it.
Still exists, like,
is the priest Ayasha Moth of the GMS Mississippi camp. The devil at work. AI is the new empire. Okay, so, you know, before the Lord puts a spirit on Esau, Edom to take these videos down, all right, tap in, all right. The time is short, you know, as the Apostle Paul says, you know, in Romans, the 13th chapter. Okay, as a matter of fact, let's get that. All right, Romans, the 13th chapter. In the 11th verse. In that, knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for our salvation is nearer than what we believed. You see, and the power that has been given unto the left hand is being, unleashed. And we're seeing the seed of Satan, you know, manifest themselves via miracles. Remember, in Egypt, Pharaoh and his magicians, all right, or witches or his warlocks were able to do miracles as the miracles of prophecy via Moses and Aaron, and also literal miracles in the form of particular powers that he gave them were being done. The devil, you know, counteracted it, okay, via Pharaoh and his minions with their miracles. So we're seeing all kind of miracles. We're seeing all kind of enchantments. This talking point of the MOTB, all right, it's undeniable at this point. I'm going to start this lesson off with this video uploaded by the Elder Arianaza, all right, or Ariana Nasai, GMS Dallas. As you can see here, GMS in Rome, Lions on fire, okay. As you can see, he has here in the description, most Israelites will take the chip. And I thought this was fascinating. All right. And, you know, the more and more these camps and these naysayers, you know, speak against our position on the MOTB, the more and more is going to become, you know, made manifest who was telling the truth. As you can see, the title of his video, The Breakfast Club talks about taking the chip. AI talks. We're going to start with this video and get a few things, you know, tapping into the MOTB and how it's here, you know, and pretty much how they're going to use the talking point of health, you know, promising you, you know, immortality, promising you the ability to live longer, be healthier, and peace and safety. All right. As we know, the scripture said, when this devil starts to talk about peace and safety, then sudden destruction is going to come upon him. And we see him exalting himself up above the Most High on a level that ancient heathen and tyrants and these different, rulerships that were given rulership and dominion by the Heavenly Father. This particular kingdom here, along with the heathen that are joined unto them, Babylon the Great, this beast system, China. All right, they're boasting in some very, 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 very demonic things. Okay, and it's only going to get worse before the Lord takes them out. And if you're not in the spirit, okay, pretty much, the Lord can give you over to a reprobate spirit and think that this is it. Think that this is, really the way. All right. As they've set you up via, credit cards, cell phones, and this whole infrastructure of the internet, they're setting you up to be lured into accepting them as God, because pretty much our everyday lives are surrounding, or even how we buy and sell is surrounding this beast system. Okay. So there's going to come a point where we're going to have to literally separate and flee Babylon and lean solely on Yahweh Bashim Shai. And all of you guys who are playing and, mocking the simplicity of Yahweh Shai, talking about not to worship Yahweh Shai, all of this, weirdo talk that's popping up here in these latter days, you're going to suffer. Okay. And those who follow you. But let's go ahead and check out the Breakfast Club. This is fair use, fair use, fair use. All right. And as you saw at the beginning of the video, this is not medical information. We're just tapping into the news, and through the spirit, hopefully you brothers and sisters are edified.
Would y'all get the chip? Like the Neuralink? Because think about it, like, there's going to be people out here that are doing that. They're going to be smart.
Listen to that again. This is this sodomite, Charlemagne the God. Listen to him.
Would y'all get the chip? Like the Neuralink? Because think about it, like, there's going to be people out here that are doing that. They're going to be smarter than us. They're going to be able to break things down faster than us in order to keep up. If you know the majority of the population is getting this Neuralink or whatever it's going to be, and we grew up in the era where we was chips.
Now you heard him, in order to keep up. Now, if you've been listening to these news and prophecies, all right, and all of the brothers who do videos on this, we've been telling you how in order to, even have a chance to survive in the world to come, you're going to have to merge yourself with machine, because AI is going to take over everything. So in order to compete, in order to be, on some form of level, you're going to have to upgrade yourself via, the merging yourself with machine. And that's the aspect of the fourth industrial revolution, where not only the world changes via AI, automation, and all of these things, but you change, the people change. And how will you change? By changing the definition of what it means to be a human. And everybody is seeing it. There's no excuse. As a matter of fact, I want to get this in the book of 2nd Esdras. Real quick, something popped in my mind. 2nd Esdras is the 6th chapter. Because everybody is seeing prophecy come to pass together. Okay, 2nd Esdras 6 and 18. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and visit them that dwell on the earth. This is why you see all these judgments. And we'll begin to make inquisition, investigation of them, all right, of the leaders, the rulers of this world, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Sion shall be fulfilled. And when you look this up in the GNT, it says the humiliation of Sion. Okay, and how will we humiliate it? Via the curses, man. And our humiliation is just about up. This was a humiliation ritual, just like you see the likes of Gorilla Hebrew on the left-hand side going through a humiliation ritual. You see many actors and actresses go through their humiliation ritual, okay, to go to the next level, where the Lord put us through a humiliation ritual, all right, and going out on the highways and the byways in the garments, doing these videos. The foolishness of preaching is what was required to show the Lord that we were serious about our repentance. But the whole aspect of how we're looked at in this world is humiliation, but it's being fulfilled in this time at the end of Esau's world. And when the world shall begin to vanish away, shall be finished, and this world is vanishing away, then will I show these tokens, and a book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall all see together. And ultimately, the Lord has sent down the Holy Spirit onto the men of the Lord to preach, prophesy. And the internet has been used. I think I just saw somebody going into the internet. I believe Apostle Ramla went into the aspect of the internet. You got to check that video out too. Let me pull it up. GMS info doc. I believe it was him, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the internet does our heavy lifting. This is on GMS info doc channel 12. Okay, and this scripture is telling you, as you can see here, right? Then shall the books be opened before the firmament, and they shall all see together. So everybody is seeing the prophecies come to pass, and the elect are seeing the truth and be, able to go into the scriptures and bring out the reality of what this all means. But everybody is seeing prophecy come to pass, whether they accept it or not. Okay, going back here, right? We got to start it over because this is heavy.
Would y'all get the chip? Like the Neuralink? Because think about it, like, there's going to be people out here that are doing that. They're going to be smarter than us. They're going to be able to break things down faster than us in order to keep up. If you know the majority of the population is getting this Neuralink or whatever it's going to be, and we grew up in the era where we was, what you mean chips, put chips in the babies and all that. We was against that. Would you do that?
Would you do it?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
Too. That's my answer as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
when I first heard about it, I'm like, hell no. But then, with all the movies I watch and shit, everything that they're clearly putting in front of us, because they know we just gonna think it's a movie. Nah. Like, I really don't know.
Yo, they got the glasses now. They got the prompters in them. People, you could be debating with somebody and they killing you with faith.
Well, the Neuralink thing is so interesting because it's like, for people that don't know, that's Elon Musk's company, and they already have paraplegics that can move now, and people moving chess pieces with their brain. So my thing is, like, even for languages, right? Like, imagine if you can download every single language in your brain. So you go to France and now you speak fluent French. That's helpful.
See, it's going to be presented into you as an upgrade. And remember with the serpent in the garden, how he presented this whole philosophy to Eve. Okay? Genesis 3:4, and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For God know that in the day that ye eat thereof, which this was a philosophy. Okay, wasn't no apple. Okay, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods. See that he's promising her an upgrade to, all right, to attain godhood. You can become a goddess by taking on this philosophy, and ultimately, this is how they're presenting it. Okay, they're presenting it like, look, you're not going to be able to keep up in the world to come. Okay, in order to keep up, or in the world to come, since everything's going to be so, upgraded. If you want to learn a language, all right, you're going to have to, get the chip. And that sounds enticing to people who are worldly, because they're all on the panel. Nobody said no. So they're being told to talk about this because this is what's coming. You think that by just some chance, these random group pack of nigglets decided that they were going to talk about the chip? No, they're being told to talk about this. And the people that are watching, they're saying, well, I don't know, man. Some people are saying, hell no. But let the threat of starvation come to you. Let the threat of you not being able to buy and sell come. You're going to take it.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
when I first heard about it, I'm like, hell no. But then, with all the movies I watch and shit, everything that they're clearly putting in front of us, because they know we just gonna think it's a movie. Nah. Like, I really don't know.
Yo, they got the glasses now. They got the prompters in them. People, you could be debating with somebody and they killing you with faith.
Well, the Neuralink thing is so interesting because it's like, for people that don't know, that's Elon Musk's company, and they already have paraplegics that can move now, and people moving chess pieces with their brain. So my thing is, like, even for languages, right? Like, imagine if you can download every single language in your brain. So you go to France and now you speak fluent French. That's helpful. Or you go to, Mexico and now you speak fluent Spanish, right? Like,
so check this video out. Okay, this is where we are. And again, we know that the devil that runs this beast system will be marked by his miracles. Revelation 13 and 14, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of his beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had a wound by a sword and did live. And that's the ancient Western Roman Empire, which that's what's being established here. But it's now a technological Rome, you see, and via, you know, their witchcraft and their enchantments, you're being led, okay, into this new way of life where ultimately you're going to have to be recreated in his image. But he's going to deceive many. Let's look up this word, deceiveth. All right. Planao, to cause to stray, to lead astray, to lead aside from the right way, to go astray, to wander. All right. To sever or fall away from the truth, to be led into error and sin. And this is what we talk about, the hour of temptation. He's going to deceive you by miracles. All right. Samion, a mark, that by which a person or thing is distinguished from others. And this is how we know that this is Esau Edom. This is how we know that this is the beast system that John the Revelator wrote about via these particular signs, these effects that are all associated with prophecy. A sign, a prodigy, a portent, an unusual occurrence, transcending the common course of nature, transcending the common course of nature. And that's what this is all about. This is all transhumanism. This is not medical information. Okay, let's go here.
Mark is controlling this iPad with only his thoughts. This new demo from Synchron represents a major milestone in the field of brain-computer interfaces, called BCI for short. These brain implants enable users to control digital devices with their thoughts. Apple has its very own BCI input protocol announced back in May. This video shows the new Apple accessibility feature being used with a BCI for the first time. Elon Musk-backed BCI company Neuralink, a competitor of Synchron, has also recently shared updates about its progress. So today we'll be comparing these two leading BCI companies, their devices, the implant processes, what stage of development they're in, and the long-term vision for each as stated by company leaders. Let's start with the device itself. Synchron Stentrode is based on pre-existing medical...
And you think Elon's, and this is, you know, fair use. You think Elon's Neuralink is the only company? No, there are literally hundreds and thousands of companies pushing this technology. And if you don't think that this is going to be forced upon you people, then you're crazy. If you don't think that this has anything to do with what John the Revelator saw in Revelation the 13th chapter, you're crazy. And you camps that are have been naysayers, now you're trying to, patch it all up and do all of this extra stuff and think that you're going to somehow manipulate the minds of the people to basically be drawn away from the reality of what's happening. No, it's not going to work. And a lot of them will start questioning y'all on a higher level.
Technology called a stent. Stents are inserted into blood vessels to improve blood flow in the case of a blockage or narrowing of the blood vessel. The Stentrode, similarly, is designed to sit within a blood vessel near the brain's motor cortex. From there, the device can pick up signals in the brain representing a user's intent to move and transmit them wirelessly to take the desired action on a user's device. So far, Synchron Stentrode has been implanted into 10 individuals. Neuralink's flagship implant is called telepathy. Like Synchron Stentrode, it also allows...
If you think it's really 10 people, then come on now.
Allows users to control their devices using only their thoughts. A demo shared by Neuralink showed some of its trial participants playing games like Mario Kart and Call of Duty, as well as controlling a robotic arm and a virtual hand. Neuralink says this will someday enable users to fully embody and control humanoid robots with their implants. So far, 7 individuals have been implanted with Neuralink's telepathy BCI. Right now, Neuralink's telepathy features 1,000 electrodes or channels implanted into the brain. When it comes to actually implanting these devices, Synchron has opted for a minimally invasive approach using something already commonly used in the medical field, catheters. These thin, flexible tubes travel through blood vessels and, in the case of the Synchron Stentrode, allow the device to be inserted near the brain's motor cortex without the need for open brain surgery. The main risk of this type of implant is the same as any stent, which is blood clots forming around the mesh wire. Synchron Stentrode users take medicine to reduce that risk, and the risk also decreases over time as cells grow over the mesh and it becomes incorporated into the blood vessel. Neuralink's implant process involves inserting very small threads directly into the brain itself using a surgical robot. Neuralink's latest surgical robot can insert one thread every 1.5 seconds, and
so there you go. You can look that up. Apple iPad gets mind control. Synchron versus Neuralink BCI. All right, brain computer interface. And what did the prophecy say? Okay, that this would be centered around these miracles would, lead to you being forced to worship the beast, his image. And then eventually he will cause it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in his right hand or in his forehead. And that word for forehead is metapon or metopon, meta. Okay. And we saw, Facebook get changed to Meta, or, this dude, Mark Zuckerberg, with the whole Meta thing. So the Lord gave us all of the signs we need. Okay, they want control of the spirit. See? And we're living in the times where these things are going to be implemented. Okay? This is another video I was checking out. GMS Barack Allah, the elder Barack from the GMS Los Angeles camp. Okay, he did a video, the beast system in the MOTB. Let me check this out.
Down with great wrath was New World Order to try to get the whole world microchip.
Beast won't hit the mark of the beast won't hit every nation the same way. Some will enforce it.
So this is
effective immediately. All citizens are
fair use for
required to register
purposes only. Somebody created this video on AI platform, but it all links up of the different scenarios, different parts of the world people are going to be faced with. So we already, up on game, and hey, we know what's up. All praise Yahweh Shemel Shai for the enlightenment and this truth. Being thankful is a great part of this thing.
That's right. That's right, man.
The mark of the beast won't hit every nation the same way. Some will enforce it. Effective immediately, all citizens are required to register.
And this is an AI video someone created. All right.
For the National Digital Identification System. Some will sell it, and some will celebrate it. When the mark of the beast arrives in a country like America, they won't ask you to take it. They will make it impossible to survive without it.
That's it.
In some countries,
make it impossible.
And that's what the system they're setting up. Even when you look at where healthcare is going, okay, you see a lot of people losing health insurance. Basically, they're bringing a squeeze. Okay, they're taking away Medicaid. As a matter of fact, go here. This is off of a Health Ranger X account. All right. It says, told you, more and more Americans are going to either ditch health insurance or become homeless. This is what happens when the dollar is destroyed by endless fiat currency printing, which continues unabated under Trump. The American people are being impoverished. Basically, they're bringing about a squeeze. As a matter of fact, when you get the book of Luke, let's get that real quick. Luke 20. I believe Luke 21 and 25, it says, and there shall be signs in the sun, there's blood, moons, eclipses, all of that, and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of the nations with perplexity. Now, when you look up this word distress, right?
Strong's G 4928, Sunache.
Okay, it says holding together, narrowing, metaphorically straits, distress, anguish, the grocery prices, the rent prices, the mortgage. Okay, to live in everyday life and this is why we show you the videos of people crashing out, complaining, everything's high. That's perplexity, you know, lack of resources. But when you go here, all right, just to get this, it says of a cattle squeeze, this is the root word, of a cattle squeeze that pushing in on each side, forcing the beast into a position where it cannot move, so the farmer can administer, all right, medication. Now, of course, this is not medical information, but this is what they're doing in a symbolic sense. They're bringing a squeeze to where people have nowhere to go. All right, either you're gonna have to get with the program, or you're gonna be basically, you know, pushed to the position where you're homeless with nothing, no ability to buy, sell. Okay, everything is high. They're making it to where ultimately they're stressing you people out, man. Student loans, they're taking money out of your accounts, you know, garnishing your wages. Okay, they're making it to where people are going to cry for some form of a solution. And healthcare is just one new aspect of this happening. Okay, listen to this, Edomite. Even Edomites are losing. You know, they're easing some of their pain with the, you know, the Northern Kingdom getting deported and talks of making America great again, and you know, talking about coming down with great rap to get these thugs off of the streets. But you know, the average American, even Edomites, are completely losing, man, hurt.
It's really unfair that I have to choose either having health care or a roof over my head. I got a letter today from Blue Shield Blue Cross, and my monthly premiums went up to $2,627 a month.
$2,627 a month. See that?
Choose either having health care or a roof over my head. I got a letter today from Blue Shield Blue Cross, and my monthly premiums went up to $2,627 a month, 17 cents. If I choose health insurance, I lose my house. If I choose my house, I lose my health insurance. Either way, I'm breaking the law. Either way, I'm kind of screwed. And I'm not even mad. I just don't care anymore, I guess. There's just no win.
Damn. Look at those eyes. Those ice cold blue eyes. Yuck. And again, what will be the answer to this? We're going to show you. Okay, this is one of many ways that they're going to, you know, cause people, squeeze people into a position where they have to submit to this MOTB system, man. Okay.
No matter what kind of health insurance you have, the Syracuse hospitals expect Medicaid cuts to impact everybody. President Trump and Republican allies passed sweeping Medicaid spending reductions that'll go into effect in the next few years. In Syracuse, leaders of two major hospital systems warn it will lead to longer emergency room waits and the elimination of some critical services. CBS 5's Connor White is in the studio right now. Connor.
Michael, industry leaders say it will be an expensive domino effect if nothing changes before new work requirements kick in. The new requirements mean less people are insured. The hospitals still need to provide them care, but then they're not getting paid. So the burden falls on other patients and the state of New York. This week, community activists gathered in downtown Syracuse to try to prevent the federal government from cutting Medicaid. Action spurred by dire warnings from local healthcare leaders.
The impact across Trinity Health New York will be just shy of about $30 million a year in reduced revenues.
Dr. Stephen Hanks, president and CEO of St. Joe's in Syracuse, is sounding the alarm. He says President Trump's cuts to Medicaid won't just impact Medicaid recipients, it will impact everybody. Even if Medicaid payments aren't there for hospitals, Dr. Hanks says they still have a duty to see their patients.
That will mean that we'll have to make some very, very difficult choices related to programs, related to services, and these will have an impact on access to care.
Upstate Hospital's leadership tells the I-Team they face similar challenges. So here's the problem. President Trump and the GOP in Washington are cutting about $1 trillion in Medicaid spending nationwide. That will begin to take effect next year. Then, stricter working requirements start in 2027. Governor Kathy Hochul's office predicts about 1.5 million people will lose coverage in this state.
If the health department does its job right, it doesn't have to.
So, you have that aspect of it. Here's another one.
Millions of Americans who take advantage of the Affordable Care Act could see their health insurance costs skyrocket next year. A new analysis by KFF shows ACA premiums will increase by an average of 15% in 2026. And with COVID-era subsidies to cover premiums set to expire at the end of the year, out-of-pocket payments could grow even higher. I'm joined now by KFF's Cynthia Cox. She's Vice President and Director of its program on the ACA. Cynthia, thank you for joining us. Why are premiums expected to rise by so much?
So this is the biggest premium increase that we've seen.
But we thought America was going to be made great again. Okay? People are struggling. All right? Everyday needs.
In a recent CBS News poll, 2 out of 3 Americans told us they're stressed about their own finances. 3 out of 4 said their incomes are not keeping up with inflation. That's a lot of people struggling to make ends meet.
And so of everything going up, which you can just look these videos up, all right, now healthcare is going to be going up. So people are having to choose between ditching their healthcare just to live a normal everyday. What will be the answer to this new issue? Well, this is where the wearable technology and everything, because what did Donald Trump just do? Okay, they're bringing about this new, let's go to it here, this new system. I brought it out in a few videos. Let me see if I can get it up here real quick. There's so much information coming out. All right, I think this is it here.
Today, the dream of easily transportable electronic medical records finally becomes a reality. This will allow patients to easily transmit information from one doctor to another, even if they're different networks and using different record-keeping systems. No matter what system they use, they're all transferable. The new standards will also make it simple for patients to access their own personal health records. I don't want to see mine, please. I don't want to see. I don't know about you. They have all sorts of things, sir. They can tell you exactly what your problem is going to be in 6 years. We can do it. They have all these different things. I don't know if they work or not, but I didn't want to hear it.
So as you can see, everything is going to change. Everything is going to be upgraded. Okay. And this is going to be the solution to all of the sickness. This is going to be the solution to the healthcare. And they're slowly implementing it. All right. With the talking point of wearables. All right. This is a little bit more on that.
If you were convinced by MAGA that it is the left that wants to track your every move, you've got to think again. I told you this was coming, and it's happening. The Trump administration is launching a nationwide health tracking system, and they are partnering with the very big tech companies that MAGA has been warning us about for a long time. It's Google, Apple, Amazon, CVS, United Health. There's over 60 companies that are teaming up with the federal government to create a database of your private medical history. Diabetes, weight, medications, mental health records. It's all digitized. It's shareable. It's all opt-in, of course. And who is running it? It's Dr. Oz, now head of Medicare and Medicaid. We're going to look later at some.
And we know Dr. Oz, all right, was pushing a microchip at one point. They took it off the internet, though. If you've been watching, we showed you
the video. But Trump stood at the White House and he said that we are finally making the dream of easily transportable electronic medical records a reality. So pause there for a second. Do you remember when it was the MAGA right screaming about vaccine passports? What about HIPAA? What about my medical records and privacy? Government health databases, they're going to microchip or they're going to track whether you're vaccinated. And we need to be skeptical about anything like this. Glenn Beck practically fainted when someone said we've got a contact trace during COVID. RFK Jr. said the government should never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, be collecting personal health data. And now RFK Jr. is Secretary of Health and Human Services. He's pushing wearables to monitor vitals. He's pushing this massive medical Dragnet to study vaccines and autism. He wants the record. That Dr. Oz wants the record. So my question is, where are the don't tread on me people now?
So this is where it's going to go. Okay, this will be the solution. How wearable technology is transforming the life, health, and accident insurance sectors. How wearable technologies is transforming the health sector, basically. Okay, benefits for insurers or policyholders. Okay, wearable devices such as smartwatches, fitness trackers, and even smart rings are packed with sensors that track heart rate, sleep patterns, and daily activity levels. This data provides users with real-time insight into the policyholder's lifestyle and health, which allows a more accurate risk assessment and personalized health management strategies. So we can clearly see where this is all going, right? Okay. Ultimately, this will be the answer to the mess that's been made of, the healthcare system. Okay. It will be cheaper. Just do the wearable, go the wearable way. And then ultimately we know that it will go inside of you, man. Okay. It benefits the insurers and policy holders. Okay. The growth of wearable devices, the adoption of wearable technologies on the rise globally, with millions of people already using devices that track their health metrics. All right. And then they're going to be telling you, well, this can tell you if you're going to get sick within the next 6 years. That number 6 again. This is what people are going to tap into this. Well, shit, I'll do it. This is going to be the answer. Okay. In 2021, worldwide shipments of wearable devices reached 533 million units, and that number is projected to increase to 776 million by 2024. And we're in 2025 now. Okay. Evolving the use of wearables in insurance. The future of wearable technology in the insurance industry holds exciting potential. As the technologies evolve, wearables will likely move beyond tracking physical health and venture into new areas such as mental health and environmental exposure. Mental health monitoring. Okay. Environmental exposure. Okay. And AI is going to take over the doctor. Ain't that happening in China? Okay. Challenges of integration and wearable data into insurance. Okay. While the benefits of wearable data are clear, integrating this data into existing insurance systems is not without its challenges. Insurers must navigate issues such as data accuracy, privacy concerns, and the complexity of managing large volumes of information. Okay. Bottom line is that wearable revolution, all right, in insurance, it's not just a trend, but it's basically getting ready to be the way of life. Okay. Is wearable tech in health insurance a good idea? This is where it's going. Okay. This will be the answer to all of the problems that they've brought about. Okay. With this volatile system, man. Okay. You got Medicare will test using AI to help decide whether patients get coverage, which could delay or deny care, man. So it's all happening, man. Okay. CMS will use AI to help make prior authorization decisions via the new wasteful and inappropriate service, okay, called Wiser model, but the final decision will be made by an employee, according to the agency. Why it matters. AI has made a significant impact in the workforce, education, healthcare, and beyond. While some remain hesitant about its usage and the possibility of it eliminating human jobs, AI tools have been linked to greater efficiency for many companies. While traditional Medicare has typically had fewer prior authorization requirements than Medicare Advantage, the use of AI could speed up coverage decision and potentially lead to higher denials of coverage, experts say. Okay, so this is where healthcare is going. And if you look at what's happening in China, okay, they pretty much got whole AI hospitals, man. China's AI moment, practical, profitable, poised to go global. From autonomous factories to AI doctors, Chinese companies are setting new efficiency standards that global businesses must match or risk permanent competitive disadvantage. Okay, I think I got a video on that. So this is going to be the answer. Okay, the wearable, and eventually we know that's going to go to the chip.
You know, just when I thought I've seen everything, I just saw on TV today the hospital in China that's completely run by AI. There's no real people, no real nurses, no real doctors. The whole hospital is run by AI only. This is going to be too much. They said the accuracy of these AI doctors far surpass the best doctors anywhere in the world. And I wonder if it's because they have, at the touch of their fingertips, all the information, anything ever done, and it's all right there because everything's online basically. But how do you run a hospital with no people? And they said they can treat up to like 10,000 patients like in a week. They're just putting them through like cordwood, just one after another, after another, after another. Pretty soon, what are we going to have left? Are we going to have people running anything anymore? Are we going to have people running factories? We're going to have AI firemen, AI gas stations, AI grocery stores, AI presidents. Maybe the sky's the limit. But I never really thought AI hospital was even possible. But if you get a chance to look it up, it's in China, all run by AI. Fucking world's getting crazy.
So for everyone who thinks that AI is not going to have a significant impact on the medical system in the future, this should be your proof that things are changing rapidly. I mean, come on. China now, of course, is going to be having the first AI-powered hospital. AI doctors, AI nurses, and AI reception, the whole thing is going to be powered by AI, and humans are not going to be needed. So this article reads, a groundbreaking virtual healthcare platform powered by artificial intelligence is set to go public in China next year, according to a report from Healthcare IT News. Now, next year being this year, because this article is from December of 2024. The project represents the first known autonomous and self-evolving virtual hospital concept in the world. Researchers involved in the project emphasized the platform's efficiency, noting that an AI doctor can manage tens of thousands of cases in just a few days, equivalent to years of experience for a human physician. People are not going to be able to compete. And the thing is, people have been saying for a long time that.
So this is just crazy, man. Nothing is being withheld from them, which they've imagined to do. Ultimately, they're you know, these heathen are, you know, in that spirit of Nimrod, you know, trying to make a name for themselves. You see, but overall, what does this mean for the people? You're going to have to, in order, if you want healthcare, if you want to be treated, you're going to have to what? Integrate into this new system, which will eventually require, all right, a micro C-hip, man. Okay. They're even going to tell you this will help you to live longer.
If you're alive 5 years from today, I believe that you will easily live to between 120 and 140. And the reason for that is the entire modern medical system is about to be circumvented in the most incredibly positive way. What I mean by this is that we have the convergence going on right now of big data, artificial intelligence, and early detection. So for the first time, voluminous amounts of data, hundreds of
early detection. And this is what Trump, when he, you know, was elected, he brought those, you know, transhumanist, you know, Satanist, you know, Ellison and the rest of those guys. That's what they were talking about. You know, we're looking into, you know, creating a VAX that will ultimately be able to track, you know, and tell you when you're going to get sick. It's going to be specifically made to your D to the N to the A. Yeah, remember that? This is what Trump is doing. But he's doing the bidding of the elite because they got to bring about this system. Listen to this devil. Listen to these people.
A positive way. What I mean by this is that we have the convergence going on right now of big data, artificial intelligence, and early detection. So for the first time, voluminous amounts of data, hundreds of trillions of possible outcomes can be analyzed, and an actionable step can be derived from that. We used to say, wow, if we can detect cancer at an earlier point, we could save so many lives. We can actually detect cancer before stage 1 now. We can predict the onset of cancer because of artificial intelligence. So what's happening is over the next 5 years, you're going to see 3 centuries of medical advancement happen in the next 5.
So they can detect. So what are you going to have to do in order to get that kind of access for them to detect what you got? What do you think you're going to have to do? It's going to be deeper than wearables.
But he doesn't think it's a problem, whereas people like you and Bill Gates and Stephen Hawking think it's a problem.
Yeah, it depends. If some people want to live forever or for a much longer period of time, and they see AI as the only way to, or digital superintelligence as the only thing that can figure out how to get them to live forever, I think Kurzweil is in that category. So he would prefer to have AI, artificial general intelligence, than not, because he can figure out longevity.
So are you optimistic? I read in your Rolling Stone article back in the day that you said you can never be happy unless you're in love.
Immortality. They're telling you that they're going to bring about immortality. Okay? If you want to live forever or live longer. So this is what these devils are, ultimately bringing. And again, many are going to be deceived. Okay? 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, meaning the end, because many were preaching that the end was coming at that time. All right? Except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin shall be revealed. See, the son of perdition, man. And this is the son of perdition. He's being revealed, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So this is ultimately, this is this man. Okay. Let's get Ezekiel 28. And of course, I'm only playing a little bit of these videos, or, you can look these videos up. These are whole interviews. It's more, even these articles, look them up, dissect them, because there's more information. But, I got to go meet up with the brothers. So I'm just tapping into what I can. But Ezekiel 28:2, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, which the modern day prince of Tyrus is Esau, Edom, who's waxed rich through his ability to trade and his, that old Phoenician priesthood and monetary system, which I got to find that video I did on that. Okay. Because this is, everything that we're witnessing, it all goes back to these ancient cultures, but now he has the technology to implement what they were doing on a whole nother level. This spiritual Sodom in Egypt. Thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God, the ability to give life, the ability to create life. Okay. The ability to have control of the spirit, the ability to deal with man and his mind, and, control I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, for though thou set thy heart as the heart of God, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret they can hide from thee. And Daniel was known for predicting the future, deciphering dreams. Now they have technology where they can, the people's dreams can be recorded. Right? Now they have this technology that we're just looking at, where they're going to be able to tell you if you're going to get sick in the future. Imagine people hearing that, and we'll be able to detect it and heal you before it comes. See, this is him becoming wiser than Daniel. Okay. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding hast thou gotten thee riches, and has gotten gold and silver into thy treasures, man. He sits in the midst of the seas of the people. And they're all gathered unto him, and he's God. Let's get Revelation 7:17. And he wants to gather all people unto himself via this system, man. But again, he wants to kill off a whole hell of a lot of people before he really implements it, man. Revelation 17:15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. See that? And that great whore is Babylon the Great. Let's get Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, man. So digital ID, all right, all the social credit score, health, everything is going to be, all right, gathered into this one system. Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and could not be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Okay. He wants all nations gathered unto him, man, via this demonic system. Okay. And they ain't playing. Okay. They're boasting in their idols. Okay. Let's go here. Ayasha Moth again, GMS Kingdom Minded 144. The devil at work. E is boasting in his idols.
Has any idea what is happening, because there is no human being on earth which is able to understand these new financial devices that the AI is inventing. Why is it such a big revolution which is different from anything we've seen before in history? And the word, the term to focus on is agency. Every previous invention in human history empowered humans, because whether it was the printing press or the atom bomb or the airplane, it was a tool in our hand. We decide what to do with it.
Yeah.
AI is different because it's not a tool, it is an agent. An agent is something that can make decisions by itself, can invent new ideas by itself, can learn and change by itself. By definition, if you create an agent, you cannot predict what it will do and how it will behave.
All right, and that's a goddamn lie, okay? Because this AI doesn't think by itself, okay? The reason why, all right, like for instance, ChatGPT, the reason why it's free because he wants people to interact with it, okay?
Right.
And this is why he's so big on harvesting the data, because AI pulls from this big, gigantic pool of data. That's why they have these billion-dollar data centers, okay? So everything the AI knows is learned from the data that it's getting from people. Okay, all the new things that it's learning from the new data that it's getting from people. Okay, so he's making it seem like AI is just a living entity. Okay, that can think and come up with ideas on its own. No, it can only come up with ideas based on the data, the input.
Right.
Okay.
If you create something which you know in advance everything it will do, it is not an AI. It could be automatic. You have a lot of automatic machines, coffee machines, whatever. They are not AI. AI is defined by the ability to learn and change and make decisions by itself. And we have no idea what will happen when not just one AI appears. We are talking about billions of AI agents that will be here in just a few years. They may not be AGI, artificial general intelligence. They might have still relatively limited scope, but they will increasingly be in charge of the financial system, of accepting people for jobs, of the military. Going back to the Middle East, the Gaza war has been one of the first AI wars in history. A lot of the decisions, including life and death decisions, which buildings to bomb, which people to kill, were done to some extent by AIs. So,
yep, Palantir. Okay, is a big part of that. And it's being integrated into everyday American life. Okay, and if you don't think that these devils are getting ready to force that MOTB on you people, you crazy. You can watch the rest of that video the brother did. But I just wanted to tap into you know, a little bit of that. You know, mainly, you know, it's crazy. They're talking about the MOTB on on the Breakfast Club. You know, it's another one, but I'll probably go into this in another video. Palantir and the conspiracy to own everything, the largest heist in history. So you can check that video out. But again, okay, Psalm 64:2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked and from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And this NWO is bitter. This is a bitter plan. This will be slavery on a level that the earth has never seen it before. This will be tyranny on the level that the earth has never seen before. And this is why the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter, okay, this is another one, Daniel 8:25, and through his policy, this is speaking of Antiochus Epiphanes, of course, but, you know, that which is then is now. Through his policy, he's going to cause craft to prosper in his hand. And we see how this devil is ultimately using false flag, you know, situations, you know, the all of this, you know, even the Medicare thing we were just going into, you know, the health insurance. Okay, the everything is rising. You know, the rising costs of food are threatening the very existence of many restaurants. Everything is being pushed into this squeeze so that ultimately the solution can be given via his AI. But what I really wanted to get is Daniel, the 12th chapter. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, which such as never was since there was a nation. All right, even to that time. So we believe through the Spirit, AI has a lot to do with this, because again, we just heard what he said. AI was able to find which buildings to bomb, what kind of people to kill, all of that via things like Palantir. Okay, the people who are denying the MOTB, they'll have the power. All right, when it says they should be like madmen, sparing none, spoiling. AI is going to be a big part of that. So it's going to get so bad that we're going to need divine intervention. See, and then all of the game plan is going to be out of the door, and the Lord is only going to deal with his elect at that time. Everybody else is just going to be given over to the sword, confusion, peril. And then this word and the men of the Lord that are associated with pushing it out, our stock is going to rise, man, because we invested, the elect, all right, the remnant invested in this word, and wisdom and knowledge was our resting place. So the Lord is going to what? He's going to, again, everyone that is found written in the book. All right. The Lord is going to, use divine intervention, because the enemy is going to come like a flood. OK, you best believe all of this technology, everything that we're showing you is going to be used to wage war on us. OK, and everyday Americans. OK, who are supposedly, truthers and all of that. But I just wanted to get into that, again, that charagma is on its way. OK, he's just going about it in a very crafty way. We just saw Trump just declaring martial law pretty much in D.C. over what happened to the big balls. So, hey, stay tuned. We'll be back with more. So, lucky I wasn't able to get more into some of these things. It's kind of rushed, but hey, spirit is a spirit. I showed you videos that you can pause, look up, and watch as well that go deeper into these things. Shalom.